You know, the biggest question back in the old days, why does tapping work? You know, that's the biggest question. I'll come from EFT. EFT says you're unblocking meridians, blocked energy. And a lot of people say, well, why does it work? I say, we really don't know why it works. You know, but when you're in the dark and you find the light switch, it's nice that you can find the light switch. But why do we have problems, how we have problems, was my number one thing. Why does this thing work? And of course, you know, we found out that, you know, your mind-body system is a perfect operating system. Your brain is an amazing system that is the smartest part about you, because, you know, you have your conscious awareness right now, but it is the unconscious that is driving your whole life. Your unconscious, as we said before, is like an intelligent idiot, which means it doesn't say what comes in, what it captures, bad or good. It's just very well at organizing it. You know, as I said, we got the limbic system. The limbic system, you got a pair, what we call the amygdalae. There's actually two of them, one on each side of the brain. And they take in all the senses and all this stuff, and they start popping it and organizing it. So I call it the amygdalae, which is a pair of twin librarians who are super, super sharp. They're always so active because they've had at least 50 cups of coffee. I mean, they're like buzzing. So even if I say in these words, these librarians are popping things inside your head, memories will pop in, and it's organizing it. But also these librarians are also not only bringing stuff in, but it's also pumping stuff out. So it works with the rest of the limbic system. It'll pop over and grab a memory. It'll grab sensations. And this piece of us is what I would call this system is the hypnotist. They put you in trance. And as I said before, what are problems? When you're having a problem, you're actually going into what we would call a hypnotic state. Now, this hypnotic state is your brain system creating sensations and feelings and putting pictures and sounds inside you right now, and you consciously just respond. You don't even know why you respond. You don't know why you keep doing it. You don't know why your heart's pounding through your chest. But the operating system, which is your brain, survival system, you know, of course, it's attached to what they call it, the reptilian brain. It's not the reptilian brain, in my opinion. It's the survival brain. Now, the survival brain is going to help you survive how you captured your entire life. So that means if you raised up in a family, an environment that is dangerous, people are going to beat you up, there's fights and arguments, and your sister tries to kill you a bunch of times because she's so jealous that you were born and took her place. So now this little child is on the guard. Well, since this whole limbic operating mind system has the program, it's not safe. So a part of our brain, we got the reticular formation. It keeps looking and being aware of what's going on. And if soon as it notices something, the operating system, which is a limbic system, starts making your heart pound through your chest. And consciously we go, what's wrong with me? I'm going to die. I'm scared. And then we feel the feeling. And then you think, there's something broken in me. Why do I always feel this way? And the only reason why you feel this way is because the programming is in your brain. Now, the limbic system is basically it just gives what's in there. So you have memories inside your head, and it'll just, and feeling, when I say memories are auditory, sounds, tastes, smell, pictures, sensations in your body. So there's 5 types of memory. So this operating system now just pumps it through, and you just act and respond, and consciously go, what's wrong with me? And then you try to logically, the prefrontal cortex, you start to logically understand why you're crazy, you know, why are you acting this way? And then you try to logically put the pieces together, and you think it's because, you know, someone said, your mother told you, well, your father didn't want you, and you were born, and he was drunk that night and never showed you. That's why you have this feeling that life isn't safe or something, you know, some weird stuff, and logically go, well, and you create a picture of it, and you start to feel like it's really true, and you build a life from it, even though it's not really true. It's your consciousness trying to figure out why you're so good at being rejected or abandoned or alone. Because the limbic system has wired things together. So again, there's a concept, you know, neurons that fire together, wire together. So here it is, you captured it, your brain kept the feelings and emotions and sensations of what happened, Now you're driving or walking down the street, a song will play on the radio, and you'll start to feel panic, or you'll notice a look on a face. It's this system trying to keep you safe. It's trying to keep you safe based on the data. Now, the brain has a natural updating system. The consciousness can create a shift in the unconscious, which is the limbic system. So if you had a horrible experience like an accident or a trauma or something really bad, the brain has captured all the sensations, all the feelings, and now you walk down the same street, you have this horrible fear, it's going to happen again. Now this system's trying to keep you safe. And yet it happened to you when you were 5 years old, and now you're 45, and you're still acting like the little kid. And the reason is that you hadn't figured out how to update your brain system. Now here's how the brain actually updates itself. We talked about what we're really dealing with is unconscious links. Chocolate does not equal love unless you've been linked with love. That means someone gives you love, you're feeling love, gives you chocolate and you're feeling love, and your brain will actually wire it together and think it's love. And then, of course, you read books, you hear people talk about chocolate equals love, it does all these hormones, good things, and all this stuff, and that is just programming. And not realizing that it really is based on emotions and links. And so what we want to do is be able to break links and put links together. When I work with people who have, addictions or fears or phobias, one of the things I ask, how do you know? And how you know, they'll give me what is called an imprint of that experience or that ideology. And then we have in their mind, they have an image and a reflection, and it's not done consciously. It's an unconscious response, which means I say, think of liver and onions, your brain pops in immediately some idea whether it's yes or no, beyond consciousness. And then you immediately say, no thank you, yes, give me more. Now, here it is. How do you update your brain? Now, science is really catching up with us. Now they're discovering that the brain is plastic. That means it can move, it can change, it can grow. You can update a traumatic memory very quickly if you understand how the brain wires things together. And this is a very simple example. I meet Monica, and I have a good time with Monica. We connect and we share, and I have good feelings with Monica. All right? And then three days later, I meet with Joanne. Now, Joanne, she doesn't like Monica. It reminds her of her sister. All right? And so I meet with Joanne. I said, I just met Monica the other day, and she is such a nice girl. She goes, seriously? You don't know her. She's all about herself. She's a manipulator. I had money missing out of my purse, and I saw her look at my purse one time. And then, so here it is. Now think of it. I got a good picture of Monica in my mind. I look at Monica. I have a good feeling about Monica. And then I meet Joanne. While Joanne's talking about how bad Monica is, my brain is looking at Joanne. I'm talking to Joanne, and I look at Monica in my mind, and I'm feeling the emotions. I'm seeing these pictures. And all of a sudden, my brain starts wiring the negativity to Monica. And of course, Joanne is very expressive, and you can feel the anger. And she says all these things about Monica, and yet in my brain, it's wiring these together. Next time I see Monica, all of a sudden I just say, good thing I don't have a purse. Right? But yet, here's the truth. Joanne never spent time with Monica. Joanne never even knows Monica. And even though Monica was actually a trigger of Joanne's own childhood of her mean, abusive sister. Because again, what people do is they bring their model of the world with them, and they start to distort the world and put out what's in them upon other people. This is how the brain updates itself. Now, of course, some of you may or may not have seen where I work with people with severe PTSD, severe trauma, severe abuses. In less than 3 to 5 to 15 minutes, they can't find the trauma because we discovered the power of linking. Now, here's the deal. when you are in your stuff, when you're in your emotional trauma, your panic, your brain is sending all this information from the data of your past, and if you can actually what we call fire off something in another part of the brain, which we call defractionation, because when you're in your pain, your hurt, your worry, you're in a hypnotic state. Your brain is making you feel something that isn't even really here. And it's because of the past, and what we want to do is we want to break the links by changing the mind. Now, you see a lot of these videos that I do where we're talking about something who had a severe emotional trauma, and they're crying and they're upset, and all of a sudden I do something which the brain goes that way instead of this way. And it's called the mechanics of how the brain rewrites itself. It's like a joke. You know how a joke is? They're telling you a joke and you're leading your mind down through a story. And the punchline takes you in a total different direction, and it fires off different parts of the brain, and all of a sudden, boom, the emotions of the bad problem is now collapsed, and the brain will create uncontrollable, unconscious laughter. Right? This is how you can rewrite the brain, but you have to understand mental mechanics. So if you want to change your life, the simplest and the easiest way is to relink your mind. Take out the negative links, put in the positive links. When I have somebody who wants to quit smoking, Fritz Miller, for example, he said, I was using FasterEFT or Eutaptics before I even knew it. Because when people say they hate something, inside their mind, they have an image, they have an imprint that gives them a code of action. When I work with somebody and they have had, a horrible fear or a horrible addiction, when you ask them, I said, what is it? It's in your head. And the brain has an imprint that says yes or no. So when Eugene was talking about his mother who died, and every time you say mother, he cries, because in his mind, he has emotional links attached to his mother. He has a picture in his head, and he feels bad. Now, although he's had many pleasant memories in his life with his mother, the reticular formation says this is important. It has emotional juice. It has survival system. It has pain. And what we do is we go inside your mind and work from inside out by changing the visuals, the kinesthetics, the taste and smells, and the picture changes. Then all of a sudden, the flood of positive memories of his mother now is sitting there. So now when he thinks of mother, he's not panicking, not sad, not crying. He has a smile on his face because he can actually feel her arms around him, hear her voice as how she says, I love you. Before, he saw a mother on a table with tubes, lifeless. By the way, which is more important? Most people don't know how to change their minds, and this breaking the link is the link to creating a better life. This is the deeper level. Now here's the problem. When you have people come in and they tell you a problem, you believe the problem is the problem. The true problem to the problem isn't the story they tell, but it's the unconscious information. It's the links that builds the problem, which is emotions, sensations, images, sounds, tastes, and smells. When you break the link and you rewire it with a positive association, you can change anything, literally, from inside your head out. That's why links are so important. Make friends with your mind, know how the mechanics work, and update your system. Your brain is always updating. The weird thing is, if you have a bad problem, you feel really down and depressed, and you go, why am I so depressed? And your brain is such a great servant for you, it'll give you another good reason. So here it is, you're feeling down right now, and you go visit a memory of feeling down. You're actually rewriting the memory that you visit, and you're adding more emotions into it. So now your brain is updating your great ability to be depressed. And you start building this entire system inside yourself of being miserable. And of course, if you talk to yourself consciously and you worry about something or fear something, the more you fear it, the more you add neurological information, and the bigger the fear gets. It'll get so big, you're afraid to go to your own bathroom because of what you're doing inside your head. So what you want to do is figure out how to make friends with your mind, change your memories and references, and as you do that, your life, your body, your health, your relationships, and your entire world will follow you. Because the fact is, you do distort the world based on your internal captures, all the memories and all the feelings, which are distortions too. So what is real? Right now. And what you do to yourself, within yourself right now, will distort this moment too. So if you're going to have a distorted moment, you might as well have good ones. So as I always said, go change the bad memories and keep all the good ones and replay them as often as you can. And you'll update your life in a big way. Now, do you understand links? It's emotional ties. It's unconscious wiring. And you want to rewire your brain. Because once they wire together, they fire together, they live together. Once they wire together, they fire together, they operate together. Next thing you know, you got a tattoo on your arse. You're reading books about it. You're telling all your friends, and you're capturing their information to add more to your problems. You're updating your brain with more problems. And I just call that emotional stupidity, emotional ignorance. Sound good?